Hello and welcome to today's video. In this one I will try to explain what I think are the two best preludes for each corporation, either combined if they combo really well, or just two preludes which are individually great for that specific corp. Just as a quick disclaimer, I will try to pick two exciting preludes whenever possible, and not just go with donation, research network or allied bank every time. I want to bring out a corp's strengths and its most interesting features, but you can be sure that these picks will always be really strong for that specific corp. Also, in no way do I want to say that these preludes are always the best. You will still need to account for your 10 starting cards and what you need to get these going. But let's get right to it. We have 40 corps in the game, so let's try not to be here for an hour. Starting in the base game, we have Credit Core. Credit Core has huge starting capital and an ability which makes really expensive cards cheaper, so you certainly do not need to pick preludes that give you even more immediate capital, as you're most likely not able to spend it all in a meaningful way. I like Card Draw, which is such a rich corp, so I think Research Network, which is the best card draw prelude, is a must pick. The wild tech will also help you to get insane combos with science or Jovian techs going. The other prelude that I think fits Credit Core really well is Acquired Space Agency. The space techs you draw often are expensive cards which fit your ability perfectly. Of course, you probably do not need the titanium, but it certainly doesn't hurt either. With this combination of preludes, you would be on a good way to Planner as well. So let's get to the next corp. Ecoline has a strong ability, but a meager 36 mega credits at the start of the game, which often hinders your economic development. My choices of preludes will help with that and combo with your ability. I think Great Aquifer and Supply Drop together are insane for Ecoline, and even one of those can do wonders for you. Supply Drop gives you an insane boost to your starting capital, equal to 25 mega credits, and in contrast to other corps, you can certainly use the 3 plans as well. Great Aquifer gives you a bump of 2 to your economy, and on all 3 maps allows you to place 2 oceans next to each other, to pick up 4 plans, 2 mega credits, and immediately convert your plans to a greenery that you can even place next to these 2 oceans for another rebate. Especially when playing with Turmoil, where the greens are in power at the start of the game, this is insane. With Helion, I'd go for Mohole as well as Ola Industries. This leaves you with 8 heat prod, a critical value, as this allows you to increase the temperature every gen. Why Polar Industries instead of Mohole Excavation? Well, Polar Industries allows you to pick up the best ocean placement bonus before anyone else can do that, which is usually better than 1 steel prod. But you can't go wrong with either one. IC has huge starting capital if you have a use for your steel. If not, it is extremely lackluster, as its ability can only get you so far. But if you play Acquired Space Agency to possibly draw some space events and increase your non-steel starting capital, as well as donation also for the latter reason, you can ensure that you have a great start. With Inventrix, there are multiple routes to go. You can increase some of the terraforming tracks to use your ability most effectively, or get some science techs to get combos going with the tech that's already on your corp. For the first way of playing, I like Huge Asteroid and Great Aquifer, as some of the best plant producing cards are tied to the temperature and ocean track. But Smelting Plant is certainly also useful to get cards such as Decomposers or Livestock out faster. But my preferred way of playing is probably with Research Network and IO Research Outpost. Biolab is also an option, but drawing 6 cards with Inventrix is kind of overkill, and the plant prod you get with it is much worse than the titanium prod you get with IO. This start locks up Planner for you and gives you 2 additional science tags or Jovian tags to play all sorts of crazy combos. Mining Guild is one of my favorite corps in the game, and for it I would pick Great Aquifer and Self-Sufficient Settlement. Great Aquifer is a no-brainer. Place the 2 oceans on spots with titanium or steel and get 2 free steel prod from your ability. Usually I don't like city preludes, but with Mining Guild you get a free steel prod and then it's definitely worth it. You can maybe even place it next to one of the ocean tiles you placed earlier to get a rebate. Overlock suffers from low non-titanium starting capital and the fact that you run out of steam once your titanium is used up. To fix these problems and to also diversify your eco, I would go with Donation and Metals Company. The former allows you to pick up and play more non-space tech cards, and the latter grants you titanium prod to keep your bonus going throughout the game, but also helps you with getting other cards down. Saturn Systems is easy. IO Research Outposts and Galilean Mining are the only ones that have a Jovian tag that triggers your ability, and when you play both, you end up with insane production. But of course, you could exchange any of these two for something like mining operations to diversify your production. Character, much like Credicore, is really rich, but other than Credicore, it has combo potential with Earth tags. For picking up cards and enabling you to get great Earth combos going, I think Unmi Contractor and Research Network are the two best preludes. Both have an Earth tag for potential cartels, base hotels or Miranda resorts later, and both draw you cards that you can most likely play with your high starting capital. Also, Unmi Contractor gives you a nice economy boost and gets you just that little bit closer to a potential Terraformer milestone. With Farse's Republic, I really like self-sufficient settlement for obvious reasons, plus Martian Industries to power up any city cards I have on my starting hand to immediately have 3 cities down. Another way to go about it is with early settlement, plus dome farming, which together grants you 2 plant prod and some good development. Just don't make the mistake of playing just early settlement with no plants or plant prod to back it up. 1 plant prod just really isn't worth it. Moregate is a weird one, as you don't really have any preludes that combo particularly well with your ability. If you have an oxygen bumper on hand, pick up power generation, and if not, just pick up what you want. My favorites are Allied Bank and Research Network. With Unmi, you want 1 prelude that increases your TR, so that you can use your ability in the first gen without playing any normal project card. And my favorite one is probably Great Aquifer, but Unmi Contractor and Smelting Plant share a close second place. As a second prelude, you will want to pick up something that helps with your average economic situation. My favorite is Allied Banks, as it helps you immediately and in the long run. Let's get to the first prelude corp, Xinxing Mars. With Xinxing, your economic situation is great, but to get some building techs down even easier, and to help you with getting to builder faster, which is what you will want to do, mining operations is a great pickup. You do not really need more starting capital then, so let's focus on some card draw, and what prelude is better than Research Network, which of course also helps you with builder. Point Luna only leaves me one option, Allied Banks and Business Empire. You draw 2 cards with these, and end up with a money prod of 10. That's just insane. Of course, you can swap out Business Empire for Unmi Contractor, but swapping out Allied Banks is not optimal, as this will end up severely hemorrhaging your already low starting capital. Robinson Industries has an interesting ability. Normally, you use it to either increase steel and titanium prod cheaply, or to increase power prod to immediately use it up with a power-hungry card. But if steel, titanium, power and MC prod are already above 0, you have to increase heat or plant prod, which is a bit unattractive. So I like to get Mohole Excavation as well as Business Empire with Robinson Industries. Why? Well, you can then just use your ability to increase titanium and power, and once you run out of these possibilities, it's just 1 turn of having to increase plant prod, and you can again increase more useful resource production. Also, this starts you off with 3 different kinds of productions, which makes it incredibly easy to get generalist. Well, with Valley Trust you actually get 3 preludes, and with that you can get some insane combos going. Playing 3 good production preludes like Allied Banks, Business Empire and Metals Company is probably my favorite. Another way of playing is to get as many science tags as possible, which will combo with your general playstyle. Biolab, Research Network and IO Research Outpost give you 3 science tags and allow you to play AI Central immediately, or get you nearly halfway to Antigraph. These 3 preludes also draw 7 cards, making Planner almost trivial. Nothing really combos with Whitehorse ability, but as you're going for point cards rather than terraforming, you're gonna want MC prod and cards. So again, I can recommend Allied Banks and Research Network. For our first Venus Next Corporation, we have Aphrodite. The 1 plant prod you get with it is kinda pathetic, but if you combine it with dome farming, you get up to 2, halving the time you need to accumulate 8 plants. This also grants you your second plant tag, which can be useful for insects or NIA. To use your ability, you'll probably want to play some Venus cards that do not really combo with the plant prod thing. But you never go wrong with Allied Banks, which then leaves you with a great 6 MC prod. Celestic is a combo corp, and for those we want to draw some cards for more combo potential. My favorite preludes are Research Network and Acquired Space Agency. Sadly, and this is the case for many Venus Next corporations, there are no official preludes specifically catered towards Venus Next. Menutek is a really fun corp. You definitely want to get some production preludes with this. If you're playing with colonies, power generation allows you to immediately trade in the first gen. Otherwise, I'd go for Business Empire and Metals Company. My favorite corp from this expansion is MSI, and much like Celestic, this is a combo corp. Again, Research Network and Acquired Space Agency are my favorites for this corp. Byron really needs a good action card to thrive, and to get one, or to be able to play one, we want Research Network, which draws us cards, and its biotech will help us with requirements for something like AI Central. As a second prelude, I like Unmi Contractor, since we draw another card with it and get some production, which is useful since you have no discounts or rebates with this corp. So in the mid-game, you want to get some economic help. With Eridor, you obviously want preludes with somewhat rare tags to maximize the amount of different tags you play in the first gen and to get the most out of your ability immediately. City tags are rare, so self-sufficient settlement is nice. It gives you 4 MC prod and you can pick up a placement bonus immediately. This is especially nice on the expansion boards. As a second prelude, you can go for IO Research Outpost or for Ecology Experts if you have a good card for it. Both of these preludes offer tags that are kind of hard to come by in the early game. While playing Arclight, do not make the mistake to pick up a bad prelude just because it has a plant or animal tag. Go for good terraforming preludes that allow you to play good mid to late game plant and animal tags sooner. My favorites are Great Aquifer and Huge Asteroid. With Polyphemos, you want to draw as many free cards as possible, so I would go for Research Network and Biolab. But you can exchange the latter for Acquired Space Agency if you are right with giving up one card for more useful other benefits. Power generation is a must pick for Poseidon. You want to trade as much as possible with this corporation. Other than that, you're free to choose whatever you want. But as colony or trading related cards are often space tags, Acquired Space Agency or Orbital Construction Yard are great other choices. There is a 2-card ocean spot on the map. Ola Industries is one of the best preludes for Stormcraft, as it gives you the chance to draw floater cards that combo with your corp and heat prod that also combos with your corp. If that's not the case, Research Network, which draws a lot of cards, and IO Research Outpost, which grants you another Jovian tag, draws you a card, and helps you out economically, are great choices. Lakepoint Resorts, the first thermal corp, is a short affair. Great Aquifer and Aquifer Turbines. Why Aquifer Turbines instead of Ola Industries? It will help you to play power-hungry city cards, and with Lakepoint Resorts, you often go for a ground game. But don't get me wrong, Ola Industries is also great, as it helps you with a fast game, which is one of Lakepoint Resorts' strengths. Do not pick any terraforming preludes with Price Star. That should be obvious. You want to stay below your opponents on the terraforming track to continuously be able to profit from the reds. Pick strong production preludes that allow you to play a long game, establish continuous card draw, and play a lot of point cards. I think Business Empire and Metals Company are a perfect fit, as these are the strongest long-term production preludes in the game. If you want to immediately put a delegate into every party to maximize the benefit of your ability, you can only buy 3 cards with Septim Tribus. Therefore, we want a prelude that increases our starting capital. Donation is probably the best one. The second prelude we want is obviously Research Network, as with it, we start the game off with 2 wild tags. That's just insane. For Terra Labs Research, it's donation and loan. Over and out. You will want various kinds of productions with Utopia Invest, as that gives you insane flexibility. What's a really cool strategy is to go for dome farming and supply drop. You wait 1 gen, then use your ability on your plant prod, and you have enough to convert. Is that the best possible play? Well, I don't know, but it's certainly fun. Let's talk about the last set of corps, those introduced by promo packs. Astrodrill is the first one, and here the choice for the best preludes seems obvious. Astrodrill really shines if you get a strong asteroid-based card, and it doesn't draw one on its own. So the 2 best preludes are Acquired Space Agency and Research Network. All asteroid cards are space tags, so Acquired Space Agency is especially nice. Arcadian communities loves the good ground game. To be able to immediately spread your markers on multiple areas on the map, you need a prelude which places a tile on the map, since then you can freely place your first marker anywhere, and the marker you can place with your action can be placed either next to the first marker or the tile you placed. I like Self-Sufficient Settlement best as a tile placement prelude. As a second prelude, I would just go with Metals Company to get some diversified production, such that you're not too reliant on getting good steel targets. With Vectorum, I'd go for mining operations and donation. The former allows you to play the building text that you draw with your ability and helps you with builder. The latter compensates for your low starting cap. You will want quite the high MC prod with Mon's insurance to compensate for potential losses via the insurance scheme later down the line. So I think Business Empire and Allied Banks are the best preludes for this corp. With those, you start the game off with 14 MC prod, while everyone else loses 2. That's just insane. With Pharmacy Union, there's only one correct answer as to which 2 preludes are the best: Biolab and IO Research Outpost. Both of those have a science tag, so together with the science card you draw as your first action, you can potentially turn your corp over in the first gen, which is insane as you'll end up with 5 more TR for free. With Polaris, you can use self-sufficient settlement and experimental forest to immediately get a huge presence on the board. Gardener becomes trivial to claim, and you're also one step closer to Mayor. Recyclone gets much better with preludes, as together with the tag on your corp, you can trigger your ability 3 times and get a plant prod immediately. I think Dome Farming and Early Settlement work great with this corp, as you enter prelude phase with 3 plant prod, 2 MC prod, and a city for your greeneries. The last corp for today is Splice. The only thing you want with this corp is to play microbe tags. Sadly, the only 2 preludes with microbe tags are Ecology Experts, which I cannot generally recommend as it is really luck-based, and Biofuels, which is trash. So instead of picking preludes that already have microbe tags on them, rather pick preludes that draw you cards. Research Network and Biolab draw you the most, and this time the blown plant prod on Biolab isn't even that bad, as a microbe strat often involves playing some plant production. Wow, that was a long video, but thanks for everyone that watched it till the end. And if you enjoyed it, please leave a like and consider subscribing. And also, let me know what your favorite preludes are and where you disagree with my choices. Also, follow me on Twitch if you're interested in my regular Terraforming Mars live streams. See you in the next one.